Coming too easy. Goals from all over the threat. Every time they get possession, looks like it's going to end up in something. There's a selflessness about the team. There's a commitment about the team. There's a variety in selection. One goes out, one comes in. Jota comes in and gets his goal. Right now, we've got to be careful they don't run away with it with the rest of the league, because I'm telling you, they're the team to chase.
The interesting thing, Robbie, when you talked about just the balance, whether they keep clean sheets or not and they do well, they don't give teams really good opportunities. Like, when you talk about, like, Manchester City, I can remember thinking, is Ederson a good goalkeeper? Well, I'm not really sure, because they put him in really good areas, right? They don't allow teams really good opportunities. They have to make one or two saves. That's what this Liverpool team is. I think we can talk about their attack for weeks and weeks and weeks on end, but defensively, they just don't give you much of anything. It's a real testament to these teams at the top.
Robbie, people saying, well, they'll have a dip at some point, but maybe that dip just might be sprinkled throughout the season. You know, they've lost to Forest, they've dropped a few points elsewhere. Maybe it's a sprinkling of a dip as opposed to one big section, which then could really hurt them confidence-wise.
And I'll tell you why I think you're right, Bex, because of the guy in charge on the slot, because of what he does. I saw, I think it was Andy Robertson was talking about him, says he prepares games and he makes tweaks. During the games, he makes tweaks. He talks to players after the game. You get the sense they'll lose a game, and this guy will adjust it in a certain way. It's not going to go 2, 3, 4 games before he changes it. He changes in-game and does particularly well. So there's going to be a dip. There has to be a dip. How deep that's going to be, I'm not so sure it's going to be that bad.
Main man once again today was Mo Salah. Let's hear from him in the tunnel.
Well, Mo, you must be getting sick of these interviews and running out of space for these awards. Unbelievable again today. But should we start with the team? Was that a very good, very dominant Liverpool performance?
Yeah, of course. I'm glad for the result. We managed to score the goal early. And, yeah, we dominated the game very well, so that's the most important thing. So we managed also to score a few goals.
Yeah. Should we start for you with your first assist? Because it starts with a really clever bit of play, because you must know that you're offside. So just tell us the picture you see, and it ends with a double nutmeg.
I think it's quite similar to Arsenal goal. Also, I was offside, then I left the ball to Darwin. This one, Lucho was shouting behind me or screaming, then I knew that it was offside.
So you've got to be really switched on for that.
Yeah, I had to run toward the goalkeeper. Then he just get the ball and cross it to me. So I managed to pass it to Cody also. Clever play.
Please don't be insulted by this, but did you mean both of the nutmegs?
I don't think it's the first one. Second one, yes, because the only option I had this one, but the first one, no, I just want to go ball inside and shoot. But I was lucky to also get it inside and had to touch another time. Then yeah, but second one, yes, first one, no.
So, like I said, another record-breaking season. That's now 8 games you've scored and assisted in this season. No player's ever done that over the whole 38 games. I mean, you're on course for a Ballon d'Or season here, for an all-time great Premier League season. Those individual targets, along with the Premier League title, are they really on your mind?
The only thing in my mind, to be fair, I want Liverpool to win the league, and I just want to be part of that. That's the only thing I really focused since the beginning of the season. So I will do my best for the team to win the trophy, and we are in the right direction. But of course, there is a few other teams that really try to catch up with us, and they're very good teams. So we just need to, again, to stay focused and humble and just work hard and just go again.
When you walked into the room, I said, "Oh, Mo, you're getting better," and you said, "I try to." How much of what we see today comes from that? You're never satisfied. You're always hungry. You're always trying to get better.
Yeah, I'm just trying to enjoy the game. To be fair, I was a little bit disappointed from a few chances I missed today. But in the end of the day, I came here for the result. I want the team to win. I want to do something in the game, and I'm glad I did. But I'm always hungry for more. Hopefully, next one I will score more. But yeah, the most important thing, again, team won the game.
Do you know, actually, during the match, I was reminded that last time you came here in April, it wasn't a happy day at all. How much did the end of it wasn't, was it? How much did the end of last season fuel what we're seeing now?
It was a funny thing you said, because the players before the dressing room, before the game in the dressing room, they also were they told me "Oh, you remember what happened here last year?" And the guys were laughing.
Who brought it up?
Virgil started with it, but yeah, we had a little laugh of that. But yeah, we had not a nice memory here last year, but I'm glad this one we had better one.
Ready for the contract question? I know you're not going to stand here and tell us, but are you hoping to be able to give some good news soon?
No, we are far away from that. But again, I don't want to put something in the media and people start saying stuff, but nothing really move on. But I'm focused with the team. Hopefully, we win the Premier League.
Well, thank you for answering that. You're the player of the match, of course. Well done.
Thank you.
From signing a new contract, he says, with Liverpool, most goals in Premier League history. Look at that. He is one behind the great Thierry Henry, three behind Frank Lampard, and closing on the likes of Sergio Aguero and Andy Cole as well. And he talked about it there, about missing chances and wanting to score more, Robbie Earl, because he had himself quite an interesting day.
He had him a day, Rebecca, and right now the best forward in the Premier League by distance has this shot saved by Areola. West Ham had changed the team. Wan-Bissaka trying to play at left back, but they couldn't stop him. It didn't really matter, and eventually the goal's going to come. That's his 17th Premier League goal of the season. And the way he was going and the way Liverpool were playing, you're thinking there's got to be more. He's always got pace when he breaks through. The problem for defenders is he can go right and left, and Lee Dixon talked about it in the commentary. Either side he goes, the gamekeeper comes up with a decent save, gets played through in this one. You're expecting to see the back of the net. Ruffle, Areola makes a great save, and again, you'll see this ball comes in just slightly off the radar with his finishing on this occasion, and this sort of sums it up. There you're thinking he'd hit the back of the net. He could have 20 Premier League goals today, based on what we saw.
And yet, Tim, they're far away. He says, his quote, "We're far away from giving any good news." How is that possible? Pay him! Sign him up!
Well, that's if you believe him. I don't believe him. I think it's far closer than he's going to let on. It's been cagey on both sides since the start of any sort of conversations or negotiations. He will be there. I think he'll be a Liverpool player, and they'll all be happy. I do.
Let me tell you, one of the things that's coming out of this football club is it's about the team and not the individual. And that's why I think he's not saying too much about the contract. There's an on-point message that seems to come out of Liverpool. Humble is the new word that's been put out there. Playing for the team, winning for the team. Trent Alexander-Arnold was outstanding again today. There's all the talk with Real Madrid. But Slot's not having any of that about the individual. It's about this team. And he said this team can create some new history.
But if you're Liverpool, how many years are you giving him?
Probably not as many as he wants. I think that he hasn't shown to slow down. His lifestyle suggests that he's going to stay fit and determined. But the fact of the matter is, there is proof in the pudding that as these players get older, they decline. So the club has to protect themselves. Wouldn't give them a ton of years.
How many?
2.
2 in a year option.
There you go.
You know what somebody said to me the other day? He's 5 years older than Marcus Rashford. And look what he's doing at the moment. I mean, it's an incredible comparison.
Well, Patrick Davison said it all. You're the player of the match, of course, because this is an incredible season, even by Mohamed Salah's usual standards. He's averaging a goal or an assist every 50 minutes, which is significantly his best season so far, his most productive season so far for Liverpool. And he's doing it at a time when these contract negotiations, and in part, that's come from him as well, have reached peak interest. What are your thoughts, Jamie, at this stage?
I think, to a certain extent, Arne Slot is reaping the benefits of a really unique, strange situation where your best 3 players are coming out of their contract. And they are all playing at such a high level. They're all hungry. They all want to be successful. First thing on their mind is to win the Premier League. Secondly, they obviously want to get their contractual situation sorted out, be it staying at Liverpool or if it's to go elsewhere. They have got themselves in the most incredible position. Because if you're, as an example, talking about Mo Salah, you're his agent. His numbers right now are as good as when he first came to Liverpool. And that's absolutely frightening. I get Liverpool's position because they're probably thinking, we've got a player here that's 32, 33 in June.
Yeah.
What do we do? How long do we give him? Do we want to give him he might want a 4-year contract as an example. Right now, he looks like he could play for the next 4 years, but you just don't know. Some players, all of a sudden, they reach the peak, and then maybe their levels start to drop. You think about 2 players that signed huge contracts in the Premier League history, was Ozil, maybe Aubameyang. They signed the contracts, their form dropped. I don't see that with these 3 players. Whatever they do, whatever they decide to do, I think they're so hungry, they're so effective, so good at what they do, and it's playing into Liverpool's hands because their form is so good. They are playing at such a high level. It's actually a fascinating situation that's going to play out. I honestly think he's going to end up signing his contract. They're going to have to find some middle ground on what they want because he still wants the top money, but Liverpool are probably a little bit nervous about his age and not wanting to give players because of his age and everything, maybe giving him too long a deal. But because he's playing so well, he's almost forced that issue for Liverpool to have to give him what they want. I do genuinely believe that. And it's the same with Virgil. Virgil was such a Rolls Royce. I can see him playing for another 3 years at this level. Imagine letting him go. If he gets to the end of his contract and you can't agree a deal, imagine how many clubs would want him. Every single club would want to give him whatever they want and to pay him as a free agent. So I think to a certain extent, Liverpool just have to give him. I've said my piece on Trent. Whatever happens there he's in a difficult situation. He's in a different situation because of his age. But those two are just playing so well, and they're making it in a lovely way, so perfect for Liverpool. But they're making it very hard for Liverpool with his contract situation because of how well they're all playing.
Well, he's the player of the match. He's 7.
Well, in January he could, yeah, but that's going to happen though. He's going to get to. Nothing's going to happen. Yeah, well, in January he could. Yeah, well, in January he could, yeah, but that's going to happen. There's a line that the pieces fit in. Saw Real Madrid desperate for a right back. You know, their current right back's aging. Their current right back has got a cruciate knee ligament injury. They're desperate for a right back. Trent Alexander-Arnold, nothing left on his contract. On a free at the end of the year. It's a new challenge. His good friend, Jude Bellingham's out there. There's a lot of things that piece together that makes me think, you know what, that one could happen. I'd be more confident about Virgil and Mo Salah staying.
I mean, who on earth would get their head turned by the white shirt of Real Madrid when you're playing for Liverpool anyway? Is that the only downside for Liverpool fans at the moment? Because everything on the pitch is inch perfect. But these three major players off it, all out of contract at the end of the season, is the talk of every Liverpool supporter that you bump into at the moment.
Well, like I say, I think they're doing fantastic for the football club. They're staying very, very present. All of them, they're available every single week. We're seeing so many injuries throughout the Premier League, throughout the footballing world. These guys play at the highest level. They represent their country. I think they're absolutely fantastic what they're doing. They're staying so focused. They're staying so calm. They're playing at such a high level. Football's a business. They're making business decisions and they're staying calm and they're letting the people above them have the conversations. But who knows what those conversations are? I certainly don't, and all of us would be speculating. We're putting jigsaw pieces together. I just want to give great credit to three top players who are doing a fantastic job in a really difficult league. And they're showing up every single week, making themselves available and putting themselves on the line and doing an incredible job.
That's a really good point, isn't it? Because, joking apart, you have been in this situation and it is easy for your head to be somewhere else sometimes with uncertainty, short term certainly, not knowing where you're going to be next season in case of all three of them. But it hasn't for one iota affected any of them at any time. Quite the opposite. Quite
the opposite, yeah. They're all, in fact, if you could create a more perfect scenario, I don't think you could really. I mean, the way Mo Salah's value is going up week by week. I mean, I bet you Liverpool wish they had done it a year ago. It might have been a little bit cheaper. Now, you can't be without him. You can't be without Virgil van Dijk. These are two, probably, you're looking at the best right-sided forward and the best centre-half in the world. You just don't find them anywhere else, and they're proving it every single week. And they're going further and further clear in the Premier League, and they're at the top of the Champions League table, and they're in the semi-finals of the Cup, and the other Cup's about to start. This is they are in the best position possible. If you're looking at the business decision that Joe's talking about, they're absolutely flying from that point of view. So yeah, but fair play to them as well. As you say, you can get a little bit distracted. It's more worrying if you're not you don't feel like you're in a strong position, or if the club are not showing you love. If they're thinking of selling you or things like that, that can distract you because you're thinking, right, they don't really love me. Where am I going to go next, etc. But at the moment, they'll be clambering to sign them. I mean, it's impossible that anything else could be the case. And they're holding all of the aces in this.
Welcome back. Another impeccable first half from the leaders, Liverpool. 3-0 up away at West Ham United. I guess the only surprise, Michael, we've had to wait half an hour for the first goal to finally arrive. Luis Diaz.
Yeah, it did take a little while, didn't it? Liverpool started off pretty well as well. This is a really good goal. I loved his first touch in this. Positive touch, going forward, causes problems. Ball, he does get a little bit of luck and he finishes it really well, but this is the touch. Kudus, he thinks he's going to nick it. He thinks he's going to take a touch into midfield and I'll just pinch it off him, but he doesn't. He takes a touch to the left going forward. Curtis Jones makes a good run as well. He clears the space. He gets a little bit of a lucky bounce, but the ball bounces where Curtis Jones was stood. So it was a really good run to clear that space. And then, as I say, a pretty easy finish for him. That was one of the easier finishes you can have. A ball pretty stationary, running onto it, but a lovely strike.
Yeah, and his 8 Premier League goals this season for Luis Diaz. He's already equalled his best ever tally in an entire season. He's enjoying himself in this campaign. Have West Ham helped Liverpool at times in that first half, though?
Yeah, they have. Third goal especially, second goal we're going to see in a minute. It's just kind of mistakes that don't need to be made, you know. They're not... They're quite hopeful they're going to get back into this team. It almost looks into this game, sorry. Ball here, ball ricocheting around. Mo Salah wants it more. Gakpo wants it more. As the ball goes over, I think it's very clear that Salah's off. But you've got to be aware you're dealing with super intelligent footballers here. Salah realises he's off straight away, sees the run, lets it play, and then West Ham are scrambling to get back into the game. It's one of those seasons for Mo Salah. I'm not quite sure. I think he changed his mind twice in that little movement and ended up being able to get a good assist for Cody Gakpo.
Just a word on Cody Gakpo. 8 goals in his last 11 starts for Liverpool.
Yeah. I mean, I think he's playing his way into the start, and obviously he started today, but if there was the biggest game of the season tomorrow, I think he'd be in it now, which is not something I've said since his time at the club. So playing particularly well, scoring plenty of goals. But you know what? The 3 players that have got those shirts at the moment, Diaz, Salah and Gakpo, probably in the form of their life. All 3 of them probably playing at this moment as good as they've ever done in a Liverpool shirt.
Yeah, and Salah certainly in, as a new well-known Liverpool are 2-0 up, but he hasn't scored. He isn't overall happy until he's got one himself. But again, West Ham were in possession of the ball here.
They were, yeah, they gave the ball away again in a dangerous area. And we all know that Liverpool love winning the ball in this type of area. You know, you win the ball like that, you've already got 4 or 5 players in great position straight away. And how many times have we seen Mo Salah curl the ball into the far corner? This time, he gives the goalkeeper the eyes, sees a little gap in the near post and whips it in. I mean, in that position there, Joe, as a goalkeeper, are you gambling? Are you walking? He almost sort of takes a little step to his right.
His weight's definitely off, and then I think he realises Salah manages to drag it back. But Areola, one of his strengths is his spring. He's very much like Robert Sanchez. He's got an incredible spring, but he just gets the timing of the save all wrong. He'll be disappointed because he actually made 2 really important saves early on in the game, looking to keep West Ham in it, and this is probably the nail in the coffin for the game. Like I say, you'll see his agility here. He is a very agile man, but just gets all the timing wrong with his left hand. He'll be disappointed.
At the other end, West Ham have had a couple of flutters, one in particular at 0-0 inside 5 minutes when Paquetá couldn't get on the end of it.
Yeah, Liverpool didn't fly out the box, looked a little bit slow, a little bit cumbersome at the back, and you've got to take these chances. You've got to get the stadium behind you, and I think it's just unfortunate. Paquetá, it just looks like he loses his footing at the vital moment. You need to score goals like that when you're up against it against Liverpool. Kudus always looking lively. You know, if anyone's likely, it's him and Jared Bowen who need to bring the fight to Liverpool. That's a beautiful strike, but just not good enough.
Yeah, and that would have given West Ham something to cling on to at half-time. As it is, you know, Liverpool aren't that team anymore, are they? Of a few years ago where you think, you know what, they attack great, but they leave stuff, you know, open at the back. They're not like that now. They're very in control. And I can't imagine West Ham are going to get back into this.
Liverpool.
3-0 to Liverpool at half-time at the London Stadium. It's been a dominant scoreline. Has it been a dominant performance, Izzy?
It's been an interesting performance. There's been chances for West Ham, but Liverpool just look, you know, so seamless. Diaz getting the ball here to open up the scoring, gets a little bit fortuitous. It comes off Soufal. But in this pocket here, it's Kudus who's had to tuck in and be tight. And it's just Diaz's first touch. It just evades the pressure from Kudus. He looks to slip the little ball in. He ends up getting the rebound, and it's a really clean finish. He gives the keeper the eyes.
This is the big moment because this is West Ham starting to get in the ascendancy. Kudus has been really good in this first half. Hits the inside of the post. That one goes in. The crowd are up. All of a sudden, everything changes. But he has been so lively. He gave Robertson a bit of a scare in the first minute when he nicked it off him. And he's been the leading, certainly the leading light for West Ham. But then 2 minutes later, this is the most underrated ball in football right now because you just turn the team. Salah's so bright. This bit of skill, I'm struggling if he means it or he doesn't, but because it's Salah, I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt. That pass there, and you can see, he knows if he touches it, he's offside. Trent comes alive, that skill, and he just goes past Mavropanos, gets another touch there. It's a little bit lucky, but Gakpo is banging form right now. Right place, right time.
So it's Mo Salah, which is why you're giving him the benefit of the doubt, Jamie. Is he? What do you think?
I'm not there with it. I mean, I give Mo Salah so much credit, but it ends up being really good play. But I'm sorry, I'm sitting in the camp.
Yeah.
I don't think he means that. I think he intends to evade Mavropanos somehow with that touch, but I don't think he means it in that way. Maybe we'll watch it back, I'll change my mind, but I'm not giving him that one just now.
We might well get an answer from him.
We'll have to ask him. Only he knows.
Yeah,
Only he knows. But then all this, look at Liverpool, like a pack of hyenas getting around the players, showing great energy, and then they're decisive. Get the ball out to Mo Salah, takes one touch and just does the keeper in the eyes. Done that twice now, Liverpool. Really good piece of play.
Too much space there. Tillman doesn't get tight enough quick enough.
No.
He knows exactly what Salah's going to do. He looks to just shape it. First touch, set himself. It's a good finish. Areola arguably.
I think he thinks he's going to go around him, doesn't he?
Yeah,
but he doesn't. He
clever.
uses him and goes on the inside. He's got to save it, really. But, you know, Salah right now is so hard to stop.
Areola in, of course, for the injured Fabianski, who came off in their last game. But Liverpool